What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show. Here is my guy, Kenny Stubblefield. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'll let y'all know. This is going to be a rough show for me, man. I got the Dollar General Powerade in my hand.
Oh, no.
Dollar General. What's this shit called? Pedialyte, the store brand.
Pedialyte. Are you sick?
Man, rough night, bro. Rough night.
Oh, yeah.
Kenny, man.
You're not sick.
My birthday was Sunday, right? I did a little celebrating Sunday. But I saved last night as my actual celebration date for my birthday. And I did it at one of my favorite places to do it at. This is not an ad. This is not a plug. This is just real. Slice of Soul on Madison is one of my favorite places to hang out. They have really good pizza, really good wings, and they do karaoke nights there on Wednesday. And it's a black-owned business right here in my neighborhood. So I go often, right? So me, my family, friends, we all got together. Hung out. John Harden was there. I don't know if you know Johnny Radio was there. It was great, man. And got drunk as shit, man. They got this drink called a Strong Island. Not a Long Island iced tea, a Strong Island iced tea.
Strong Island.
And I messed around and told John Harden we going drink for drink. And he had two. He only had two, which if John Harden only had two, they'd tell you this drink was strong as shit. So me and him both had two of these. And man, we were singing karaoke and acting the goddamn fool. And boy, did I pay for it this morning. And I was hurting. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I got too old. But I'm sitting here now drinking Pedialyte like it's water.
You're here. You drinking Pedialyte. You know, I don't know really any good hangover remedies. I think aren't you supposed to just hit another shot or something like that?
Yeah.
Like get another shot down you and it'll kind of clear it out.
That was not available to me. But I know Pedialyte works. I take a couple BCs as a Pedialyte. I'm ready to roll. So I'm feeling a lot better as the day goes on. I got music bingo tonight at Waldo's Chicken and Beer. So I got a couple. I got a Red Bull for that to get me over that hump. But yeah, man, I'm making it, bro. But Kenny, I was not able to watch the game in peace yesterday because I was having a good time with my people last night, man. Celebrating 45 years of life. But I was able to look at the game. They had the game playing, but it wasn't playing in the room where we were in. The room we were in had a projector set up, but you could see the game, but you couldn't hear the game. In the bottom half where the score was not available. So I was like, all right. So I had to go to this other room to watch the game periodically, right? And the joy I had watching the Grizzlies beat the shit out of the Lakers from bell to bell. Woo! I don't think they ever surrendered the lead. I want to say they had to lead the entire game.
Yeah.
The feeling I had. I'm going to take you back in time.
Take me back.
Young Anthony Sain. My first job was I worked at Foot Locker. And I worked there for a long time. I worked there from high school up until through my college age years. And I remember when the Grizzlies first came to town, I was emotional, Kenny Stubblefield. I'm a huge basketball fan, and seeing the Grizzlies come to town was the biggest deal in the world to me. And I remember my check for 2 weeks' pay might be $450. You know what I mean? Like whatever, right? This was like the late 90s. So I'm about 2 weeks' check might have been $500. And I remember that would be a big check. Oh, I hit 500. I'm straight. And I remember purchasing a power pack. What was a power pack at the time? Which is like an eight game pack of tickets. I think they still got that now. I think they call it something else. But I remember just buying a power pack, right, and having these 8 paper tickets that were in my hand. And they'll have like the star player on the other team. Like you may have Jason.
Oh wow!
You may have like Jason Kidd on this ticket. Or, Baron Davis or whatever was good at the time, right? You know, it'll just have all these different guys in the power pack, right? Because that's back when we couldn't market our guys. You'd have to market the stars of the other team.
Right.
And I remember being a big advocate of just not particularly a Grizzlies fan because I can't act like I was a fan of Stromaus Wilf or I didn't know who these guys weren't guys that I was fans of before they came here. But I was a fan of the Grizzlies, of Memphis having a pro basketball team and just wanting this to work, right? And I remember getting to know the Jason Williams, the Pau Gasols, the Shane Battiers, and just falling in love with these players, right? And just really being a fan of this team and buying the big box jerseys with the shoulder sleeve that went from shoulder to neck. Like this whole thing was a strap, right? Those big box square jerseys, right? I remember having those. I had a Jason Williams and a Pau Gasol jersey, right? I remember wearing those. because we had a deficit of black players on our team, right? So
Yeah,
I'm
there wasn't
walking
many.
around with a Pau Gasol jersey on, or Jason Williams jersey, or Shane Battier, who might have been the whitest black player in the NBA at the time. So those are the jerseys I had to choose from, right? And I think I had all three of them. But I said all that to say, Kenny, that I would get my power pack, and it's all I could afford, and I would go to those games, and it was like it was a big time event going to the Grizzlies game in the Pyramid, right? And I
Absolutely.
remember the first time I went to a Lakers game, Kenny Stubblefield. Feeling of excitement I had of being in my arena, going to these games in my power pack, sitting in the top of this damn building, and just cherishing my little seat, right? Because my seat was kind of bad, but it was good-ish. Like, it was a nice little angle, like kind of
Right.
cat corner, but not really in the corner. I could kind of see that side to side view.
Yeah.
And I went at the very top. I was kind of lowish a little bit. I was like, "Yeah, I'm feeling kind of good, man." My little $75 power pack. So I remember the Lakers came to town, and it wasn't a home game anymore, right? It was like I was in LA, right? I'm watching people squeal over Kobe Bryant and Shaq and all these Laker players, and I'm like, bro, this freaking sucks, bro. Like this is not what I thought the NBA experience was supposed to be like. Right? And I remember seeing people who I knew were from Memphis talking about, yeah, man, and all this stuff, and pulling for the Lakers, and I was like, you guys are clowns. And I remember this is before it was even social media, so I just remember having these internal just anger that I couldn't get out. I couldn't get on Twitter and like get 10 tweets out about it. You know what I mean? I just had to kind of internalize you unloyal. I remember just like the feeling of just seeing people that I knew were Memphians filling up the Pyramid and cheering for the other team. It bothered me. It bothered young 22-year-old Anthony Sain, right? And it always did. Every year I would get tickets. I would get the power pack, and I would get that Lakers game. And I would just see our fans cheering for Kobe. Then that turned into cheering for LeBron. And it's always bothered me the way that our fans locally come in and they fill that building up and they pull for the Lakers. And it wasn't the cheering, it was the squealing, like I'm watching MTV Rockin' Jock or some shit. Like teenage girls or teenage little kids, little boys squealing over these NBA, grown men squealing over these NBA players, right? And acting like this little garbage stuff that LeBron or Kobe, whatever them would do, was just the biggest deal in the world. And I remember games where we would beat those teams, right? And it didn't happen back then a lot because it was like these Lakers super teams playing against these young up and coming Grizzlies teams. But it just built a resentment in me for the Lakers organization forever. And I'll say this too, man. Let's tell the truth about the Lakers organization. They are one of the most storied organizations, but have also been the beneficiaries of some of the most bullshit stuff ever in the history of the NBA. Part of that the Memphis Grizzlies had a huge party in and giving them Pau Gasol for nothing, right? Because if that hadn't happened, the entire history of the Lakers organization would have been totally different. The Grizzlies had such a huge effect on the Lakers' history, bro. Because if the Grizzlies had not sent Pau Gasol to the Lakers, Kobe Bryant was going to be a Chicago Bull. That was happening, bro. He was gone. Like that whole story, like Jerry West saying, "Oh, I talked Kobe into." That's not true, bro. That shit was not happening. Kobe Bryant was headed to Chicago. He was totally headed.
So you're telling me the story that Jerry West said about Kobe wanting to come to Memphis for Jerry West. Bullshit. You're telling me that's not true.
It's got some level of truth to it that discussion, some type of discussion like that might have happened. But Jerry West did not talk Kobe Bryant out of coming to the Grizzlies. It might have been. It's kind of like you my guy, right? And let's say I was working for Flynn Broadcasting at the time, and I'm pissed off. Like, man, I'm in this joint, and these people playing got us off the radio to play Donald Trump on the radio, right? Like, and I said, hey, man, you know what, bro? I might just come over there with y'all at Bluff City Media. Well, saying they ain't got no money for you. I don't care, bro. I'll come anyway. Probably was one of them kind of frustrated conversations, bro, because I'm talking to somebody who's actually the GM of the Grizzlies. Jerry West's story is a bunch of crap, bro. Like, Kobe Bryant was not coming to the Grizzlies. And if you go back and you look at news stories at the time, it was a lot of thought that Kobe Bryant was headed to the Bulls. Like, that was a big topic of discussion. And you heard Kobe Bryant going on rants about, oh, they got to be playing with Andre Bynum. He's a bum. Andrew Bynum, all this type of, you remember that stuff, right? And if that Pau Gasol trade had not have happened, Kobe Bryant would have been a Bull, not a Grizzly. But that type of stuff. And just if you watch the show Winning Time, you just see how much just weird bullshit led to the Lakers being who they are, right? And LeBron James goes there at the end of his career to bank movies, be closer to Hollywood, and that gave them a championship because that franchise was going nowhere, bro. Like those guys were done, and they're about to be done in a couple of years when LeBron retires because AD is not the type of player that could be the best player in your team. You're going to turn it to the Pelicans. That's who the Lakers are going to be. And they'll probably trade AD before that happens anyway for more assets. But that organization is done. And the whole thing of guys, big market guys going to, small market teams, small market stars going to these big teams. Anthony Edwards ain't going there. Ja Morant sure in the hell ain't going there. And what is SGA going? I mean, who's going there? Luka, who's going there? Who's going to leave a winning situation to go play for the Lakers without LeBron, without AD?
I could see Luka doing it.
Yeah, while LeBron's there, he could. He ain't going there.
Not anybody else. Like the other guys you mentioned, I couldn't see them doing it. I mean, Ja said it yesterday, man. Like it is very clear, Anthony. Ja takes that Laker matchup extremely personally.
It's because he's a Memphian,
he really
bro.
is.
It's because he's a Memphian, for real. I don't like him.
I don't like him.
Hey, bro.
And then Desmond Bain calls him the old man. Oh, dude.
Hey, bro, we got a fucked up group of kids.
We do. We got some crazy dudes on this team. A man called LeBron James the old man.
He ain't even playing. There's a man, get your toe up, ass muscle having. What do you got going on with him? What's up with him? His foot or something? What's going on with him?
Who?
Yeah, the injury he's got.
His oblique, the side stomach muscle.
Oh, yeah, get your gut muscle, so gut having ass, talking shit that ain't playing, man. We crazy, bro. Like last year when Ja was like, yeah, wait till I get out there. Let me suit up.
Wait till I get.
And we bust their ass last night, bro. I love to see it, bro. And like I said, I love it, bro. I love seeing us bust the Lakers' ass. I don't give a damn what the state of the Lakers are. I love it, bro. Coach Isolo, all hail Coach Isolo. Hey, I got to say this, bro. I give up, bro, because I was like, bro, you doing the same shit Taylor Jenkins do, bro.
The same thing. Nothing changed.
Bro, I had my shit ready. I said, Coach Jenkins.
Oh, you were.
I said, Coach Jenkins, I'm praying for you. I wish the best to you. But Coach Isolo, please look like a real coach I did tonight. I said, dude, you following the script too, bro. Who is? Let me find out Zach Kleiman is a coach of this team, bro. These dudes just following the script. I'm like, damn.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, Coach Isolo, I thought you were going to show me some real stuff, man. You literally did the same shit. Zach Edey played like 12 minutes last night. He came out literally looking like Shaq. He came out dominating.
Dude.
I said, him.
He was busting Jackson Hayes' ass the whole game.
And he need his ass busted. We're going to talk about this, too, before we go to break, man. Oh, I didn't even say this, man. Got a super great guest today, man. My guy, Fred Wells, is coming on next, man. The father of Jaylen Wells. I'm sure this is going to be a great interview. But we're going to talk about, he's coming up next. But I want to talk about this before we go to break. When Ja Morant got into his stuff with the gun situation and basically sitting in his driveway, because that was the kill shot. No pun intended. Of him sitting in his driveway, pulling out a gun, listening to music, and the car is not moving at his house. That was people were saying he needs a lifetime suspension for that, right? And repeat offender. We were talking like he was a murderer. Like all these legal terms are being thrown out.
Adam Silver gets on TV in tears over
it. There's literally a video of Jackson Hayes assaulting his girlfriend. It doesn't show him. It doesn't show him actually doing it. You did see him kind of pushing her and shoving her around.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's video footage of him doing it. And there's no, hey, suspend him while we investigate this. None of that is going on, but this dude was playing in the game, getting his ass busted by Jaren and Edey, but he was playing in the game. Like Jackson Hayes is so trash on the court as well.
So bad. SpongeBob SquarePants
Beacon Brunson looking ass, Muppet Baby looking ass. But yeah, man. But I'm glad we busted their ass last night.
Sideshow Bob.
Man, who you telling, bro? But we're gonna take a break, man. When we come back, my man Fred Wells is gonna be in the building. I'm excited, bro. Imagine seeing your kid going up against the king last night and busting his ass, dropping a 3 off in his goddamn face, man. My boy Jaylen Wells, man. My boy Fred Wells, my guy Fred Wells is gonna be here when we come back on Answer the Sain show. We'll see you guys in a minute.
Joe Mazzulla says he wants some rule changes. He wants the league to add a power play where a guy would sit out, like potentially for a possession, and he wants to bring back fighting. He said the biggest thing that we rob people of from an entertainment standpoint is that you can't fight anymore. I wish you could bring back fighting.
No, that tells me.
What?
They don't got shit else to do because they just win so easily. They got nothing else to do. Like this is like every other coach in the NBA, the other 29 coaches in the NBA are trying to figure out how can my team get better? Right. You know, how can we ascend to being a championship team? Joe Mazzulla sitting back like, bring back fighting.
Let's bring back fighting.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and know what? How about we take one player off the court and see can you play 5-on-4 long enough and can you score? Bro, that means your team is that good that you literally got to sit back and create.
Think of rule changes.
And try to create a disadvantage to yourself so that the game can be even. Your team is that much better than the rest of the teams. They literally has come up with some off-the-wall shit because we're that good. Like, I mean, look, we go into the office, I say, well, put forth the game plan. It's like, how about we not play this guy tonight? You think they can get close to us if we don't play him?
Man, Joe was
Joe, 29 other people wish they had your issues right now.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
I mean, we literally got punked on Saturday, and I'm sick and tired of it happening. You were picked to be the conference champion, and now we're literally not even going to sniff a conference championship appearance. We're going to finish 5th or 4th in conference. It's so frustrating to me to sit here and watch Tulane have the turn. They were ass for so long. They just lost their entire staff, the best quarterback they've ever had in the history of their program, and they're out here averaging their conference wins there by like 30 points every week.
Some coaches understand that style points matter and that you have to keep your foot on the gas.
Oh, do we ever even put the foot on the gas? I feel like we're just idling the whole time. Like we've got the car started and we revved the engine a couple times, but we're never going forward until it's like towards the end of the race. We're like, oh shit, we were supposed to be actually driving this whole time.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. As I told you guys at the beginning of the show, we have a very special guest. If I could name anybody the Father of the Year, man, not Father of the Year, but who I think should be probably the happiest dude on earth, it's this gentleman right here, man. My guy Fred Wells is in the building. He's the father of NBA superstar Jaylen Wells. He joins us now. Mr. Wells, what's going on, man?
All right, just hanging out, planning the day.
Yes, sir. Man,
you don't seem surprised, Mr. Wells. What's going on? You don't seem surprised about what's going on here with Jaylen.
Oh, I've been saying things about him for a while, but no one's ever listened. I mean, he was scoring 30 points at Folsom High School, but nobody really paid attention.
Well, man, he's definitely on the right team. We got a lot of guys here that were slept on. We know he is, the Sleep Nation guy. A lot of guys on this team. John Morant was a guy that was unranked player, all these type of things. A lot of guys on this team did not get a lot of the credit that they probably should have gotten. Desmond Bain, the list just goes on with this team. How much do you think that things like that drive Jaylen to be the level of player that he's showing to be in the NBA already?
Yeah, I think it had a lot to do with it, but I think somewhere along Washington, he got that confidence, like, that's it. I got it. And so I don't think he cares about that sleeper stuff no more.
Yeah, I feel you for sure. Well, Mr. Wells, last time we had you on, it was a different type of energy, right? I think on your end and definitely on our end. Because we were happy. We had our first NBA player on the show. We had our first family on here. We was like, hey, we didn't really know much about your son at all, other than the stuff we had seen on draft videos or whatever, right? And we were hearing, like, well, we asked questions like, okay, what do you bring to the team? He was like, I'm going to bring effort. And I think I could be a good defender. I think I could be a good shooter. We was like, okay, kid, that sounds great. We were like, okay, whatever, kid. We'll see, right? We had no intention of actually seeing him produce on the court. Not because we didn't think he'd be good, but just because of the numbers game, right? How this thing pretty much turns out. And then, of course, we had the preseason injuries. And then we start becoming Jaylen Wells cheerleaders again. I want to see Jaylen. Let him get just a little bit of time. Mm-hmm. Now he's out there, one of the leaders in minutes. He's starting games, putting up all these productive minutes. What's it like to see those type of things unfold as a father? And like you said, you're not here in Memphis. You're in California right now. What's it like watching games the same where we watch it on television? It's just seeing your son just shoot above the stars. Like, what does that feel like as a father?
It's surreal. I just always knew this was coming. Mm-hmm. Just because it's always been, we kind of followed this path. Like, we went to Sonoma where it looked like he wasn't gonna play, mm-hmm. and then game 2, he's taking more minutes, and the next thing you know, he's running Sonoma. And then the next year, he has his breakout year. And then we went to Washington State. I just told him, go in early, practice, get to know the team. And then, game 3 or 4, he's got all the light and he's playing all the minutes. And so, same thing, I say when he got to the Grizzlies, just get in the gym, get there early, get to know the coaches, see who they are, and let them get to see you work out and see what happens. And then next thing you know, he's got that playing time again.
And you made it sound so simple, but it really is that simple. Like you told him, it reminds me of some of the conversations I would have with my father, right? When I first got my first job, as a teenager working in the mall, Kenny, my dad was like, son, just go in and stay busy. If you stay busy, they can't fire you. Like that's something my dad told me, right? He was like,
I love it.
What he basically was saying, what he basically meant by that was, if you can prove to them that you have a worth, like that means that you're always going to be there. If you can create a position for yourself. And like we heard Jaylen, we heard you speaking very well of himself, like we said in the beginning of the season when we first had you guys on. But to see it actually manifest is just crazy stuff. It's wild to see. And we're all become these Jaylen Wells cheerleaders. And people talk so much about how much he's a intelligent player. Drew Hill wrote an article about Jaylen that posted today in the Daily Memphis. And he talked about how Jaylen, the thing that people give him the most credit on is his basketball IQ. It's just this thirst for knowledge. And if he makes a mistake, he doesn't want to make that mistake again. And how he's learning so fast. I joke on Twitter and I call him operating system. I say to him and Zach Edey are both operating systems. They're like little computers where they download upgrades. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that something that you saw throughout his entire life? Was it just a basketball thing, or did you see him like when you showed him how to mow the grass? Like the first time he couldn't get it right, the second time he was a master. Like is that something that you saw in more than just basketball with him as a child, even?
Yeah, pretty much. We kind of like early. You work on just making getting your kid to feel confidence. That's the rule for me for everything is get confidence. I have a 5-year-old now, and you can see the confidence start to build. And then once you get to that confidence, then you start to challenge it a little bit, and then you build that resiliency. Once you build that resiliency, they can take constructive criticism. Once they can take constructive criticism, they can learn.
Yeah.
And so he became a learner. He can watch people and then pick up and learn. And then it just started being weird. Anything you do, he can watch it for a few seconds and then he picks it up. Whether it's videotape and editing, basketball, reading, showing him how to fix a bicycle. He just watches, observes, and you think he's not paying attention, but you see him repeat and replicate it, and it's like, okay. And so his trainers were able to, just show some little thing, and then he was able to, after maybe 1 or 2 tries, master that.
Mr. Wells, we have a podcast that we do on this network with Brevin Knight and Rob Fisher. They both work for the Grizzlies, and Brevin Knight is the color commentator for the Grizzlies broadcast.
Former Grizzlies player,
13 years in the NBA, backup point guard. And if you ever hear him talk about his NBA career, he talks about his defensive ability and what he enjoys playing. That defense was his calling card. And in a taping we did with him this week, he talked about Jaylen, and he said, it's not the 3-point shooting. it's not the unflappable. You wherever you put him, whether it's off the bench or in the starting lineup, it's not that sets him apart at this point. It's when I noticed him guarding Tyrese Maxey in the Philly game, and it was the way that he defended Tyrese Maxey, who is known as a young, dynamic, scoring, aggressive point guard in this league. And as a rookie, Jaylen came in and in one of his first starts and shut him down. In terms of his willingness to play defense at such a high level, which takes so much effort. You mentioned his trainers just a few minutes ago. Is that something that he has always like shown a willingness to learn how to do the things that aren't going to be on the stat line, the things that aren't going to be, glorified, I guess, on highlight reels, highlight packages? Is that the defensive side of the ball? Is that something that Jaylen has just always shown an interest in learning how to play really good defense?
Yeah, because of his always being overlooked. I said to stay on the floor, just play defense, and if the team, if they couldn't get a rebound, get the rebound, do whatever needs to be done so you can stay on the floor. And it was so defense. We basically focused on one-on-one defense. And so if you can play one-on-one defense, you're going to stay on the floor. They're going to pull you in that fourth quarter because they need some defense in. So that was always taught from like third grade. And then when he went to Folsom, they did focus on his defense is what kept him in the game. Because he suddenly grew into his skills when he grew up. He was like 5'8" for a long time, and then suddenly he became 6'8". But during that transition, we assumed he's going to be a point guard. He's going to have to guard that position. So we had that. So getting over screens, I always got mad when he didn't get over screens. So get over screens because that's going to translate to the NBA. When he got to Washington, when he interviewed the Washington coach, he asked if they play one-on-one defense. Well, they lied. When they went to Washington, they didn't play one-on-one defense. They were doing some gadget, zone-like defense. And so
you didn't get to see what his defense was in college.
Yeah, so they said he couldn't play defense.
Oh wow!
He was learning a whole new system now. Now he has to play this gimmick stuff, whatever they were doing, and so he just had to pick it up. But it didn't take him long. I mean, by 4 or 5 games, he had it picked up. But they were still mad at him. He didn't get to a spot on time or something like that. But I wasn't really worried because I knew once he got back to the NBA,
This is such a wild conversation, Mr.
It's
Wells.
so crazy to me.
Your level of confidence, like regardless of the situation, you saw the big picture and you saw the future for your son. Like this, wow. I'm soaking up your energy right now because I'm like, man, I want to apply this to my life, my kids' life. This is your level of confidence, man. It's just inspiring for sure. And my next question,
I did have an older daughter and another son that played ball. So by the time Jaylen came along, we knew exactly what needed to be taught.
It's so crazy because he was a late bloomer, a late riser as far as the predictions go. And for you to say, okay, well, we're not gonna worry about this because once you get to the NBA, you'll actually get to play real defense.
Right.
Okay, based on what? Like, where you get that from? Like, what do you mean? Like that level of confidence is it's powerful. It's great.
It's like the greatest basketball players in the world, and you're like, you're good, man. Just get there and you'll be fine.
Get to the NBA, man. Just go to the NBA. Don't worry about this. But nothing was saying that Jaylen Wells is going to be an NBA player. Not at the time that you're saying this. Like that whole story is crazy. Now, my next question, I've been sitting in this question all day wanting to ask you this, but now hearing your level of confidence and Jaylen's level of confidence, you might not even have one of these examples, Kenny. I thought this was going to be the dopest question, but it might not even compute, literally. My question was, what was Jaylen's first phone call home to Dad saying, Dad, this is different than, like the NBA is different because of this? Like, what was it that he said was different? It may not be something, like based on what I'm hearing right now, it may not be nothing he ever was intimidated by. But was there a first conversation where he's like, okay, Dad, the league is different and here's why?
He was just a little irritated by the 24-second clock.
Oh wow.
He said he had to adjust to that clock, and they were just a little bit quicker. And he would
Not
just say,
LeBron James, not guarding
LeBron,
Tyrese.
not having a guard Tyrese Maxey,
that was
I gotta
it.
shoot the ball. I gotta give a shot off faster. That's crazy,
Just
man.
that was it. Just figuring out the speed.
Wow.
And that I was just adjusting to the speed and the time the shot clock.
Wow. So you seeing him score 20 points last night, dotting LeBron James eye for 3, hitting 5 3-pointers. It was just another Wednesday night for the Wells family.
You know, if the coach frees him up to shoot his mid range, he'll be scoring 24 to 30 points.
Hey, we need to make some phone calls here.
Hey, Anthony, make a phone call real quick.
I've got a way to kind of get the front office to listen to me, man. So I might get some stuff going. All right, final thing for you, Mr. Wells. Final question for you. This is so good.
When he did that turnover, it was a turnover. Then he got back and got the steal. On the game, you remember that?
Yeah.
Well, normally he would have just pulled up and shoot the jumper right at that spot.
Mm-hmm. Right, but he had to stay within the system.
Like you need to pull up and shoot your jumper, but
right.
And I realized that his coach doesn't really like him shooting that. So
I got you.
And before you finish, I got one more question.
Go ahead.
He there was an article that was written about him, and I think it was by Drew actually said that when he was sitting on the bench that Jaylen told Drew that he was watching Marcus Smart. Like we don't get a chance to talk to Jaylen like the way that you do, without giving away like what y'all's personal conversations. What is it about Marcus Smart's game that he was paying attention to? Because I would have thought he would have said Desmond Bane, right? That kind of shooting guard, scoring first, that kind of stuff. But he's watching a former defensive player of the year, point guard, Eastern Conference, finals guy. Like, what is it about Marcus's game that you see that you go, this is why Jaylen has been really studying him while he's been on the court?
I would say that he might see that he's behind him, and this is going to be the spot that I'm going to get.
Hey, this man, I need this man.
Can we just send you can we get you on a personal speed dial and just have you call us every once in a while?
Get some motivational quotes.
Get some confident tweet, confident post.
Oh,
go ahead. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
All right.
Oh, man. Was that all you had, Mr. Wells? I got one more question for you, though. At least I think.
Oh no, I mean that's what you do. You just kind of look at, okay, this is where I'm at now. I mean, if he had to wait, he'd be willing to wait. He'll just keep watching and learning, and then as soon as he has that opportunity to get in behind him, he comes out and he has to break him. He'll get in there and then play that role. So he's gonna everything out smart that he can.
Man, oh my God! All right, final question, Mr. Wells. The NBA released their kind of their early predictions for Rookie of the Year or whatever, and Jaylen was in there. He was in the running for Rookie of the Year with Zach Edey.
Top 3.
Which of course would have him like first team all rookie, all those type of things. End of the season projections for Jaylen Wells, award wise, what do you see for him?
Oh, Rookie of the Year.
I ain't gonna argue with you. Zach Edey, just get out the way. Just get Zach Edey. We ain't got time to play with you, man. We ain't for ain't no learning on the job, man. Just either you ready, or you ain't ready, Zach Edey.
I mean, and the thing is, we'll be happy. I said never chase the money. In other words, you just do you. Yeah. But you give yourself a go, and then you just go for it. But you don't have to sit and worry about whether you actually get it or not. You just play that way, and then it just kind of falls in your hand if it's there. So Edie just got to keep playing the way he's playing, because ultimately, at the end of the day, winning and getting to the championship, that is Jaylen. He will be very unhappy if they don't get to that championship game
this year. Hey man, I'll see you at the parade then, Mr. Will. We kicking it.
Yes.
Yep.
We kicking it, Mr. Will. That's the case. That's the case for sure. Well, Mr. Will, we appreciate.
He's not a stat guy. He doesn't care about stats. He just wants to win.
Yeah, I can see that on the court for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, Mr. Wells, it sounds good to me, man. We're excited to have you guys. Excited to have your family here, man. I don't know if you've been to a game here in Memphis or not, but when you do, brother, hit us up. We'd love to meet you, man. For sure.
We'll find you. My wife's been there a few times, but I just retired.
Hey, congratulations!
That was my last day of work.
Oh man, that's what's
congratulations.
Up. Congratulations, man.
Congratulations.
That's what's up. Well, Mr. Wells, we appreciate you coming on, man, for sure.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, y'all, that was my guy, Fred Wells, man. Hey, this is my guy. It's my role model. I ain't gonna lie, I'm trying to be like him. Gabe, my son, you got work to do, son. You can step your game.
Right.
I gotta put that confidence in my kid. Can let him know he's gonna be a all-world athlete one day.
He's already there, man. He's got it.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. We're about to take a break. When we come back, it's gonna be more the Anthony Sain show. We'll see you guys in a minute.
Oh, hold on one second.
The defense was good, I think, the whole time, right? I don't think anyone could truly complain too much about the defense, but it's the one thing I think it was the obvious thing is the turnovers for sure.
Yeah, I think at half, Mizzou it was like 24-10 as far as points off turnovers or something. They were up 10, obviously, at the half. They outscored them by 18. And Missouri had 3 turnovers at halftime, had 11 in the second half. So you really cranked up the defensive pressure. I just saw where Coach Gates even said that defensively, the press and our intensity, he was like, it was a night and day difference, first half versus second half. They really turned it up. Look like a team of a Penny Hardaway coached defensive team in that second half for sure, I would say.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Jaylen Wells is for real good.
He is. He never looked like he was out of the moment.
Yep.
Took some big shots.
Yes.
Even. And some that maybe weren't as big as shots that he took, but just looked as calm and cool in all situations.
But then we moved him to the starting lineup, and it was like he elevated himself. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like he went to the starting lineup and it was like, oh, I'm out here now with Ja and Jaren. No, it wasn't I'm just out here. It was like, let's go hoop.
Yeah.
It's going to be hell for them. Talking about Taylor and his staff. When Gigi comes back, when Vince comes back, when Luke comes back, when Marcus comes back, when Dez comes back, what do you do with Jaylen? This is not, sometimes it's like, well, these guys are placeholders until our guys get back. No placeholder. You're going to have to figure out how do we continue to work him into this rotation.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain show, man. Great interview with my guy Fred Wells, man. Hey, I meant to ask him while he was on the screen. I apologize to the fans. I did not make this happen. I wanted to ask him, Mr. Wells, how do we know that you're not an alien or a robot? Because the way that they like retain information and like even the way the brother was talking, I'm like, yeah, it's the ethos on something else, man, for real.
I think the part of it that was like the part of it that was wild to me and you was just how unsurprised he is by any of this.
I'm like, either you flogging or you really are confident as hell. Like, one of the two or both. But one of the two, like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
He says something to us off air that I wish I could bring to air that I'm just like,
no, that. Like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
But yeah, man, shout out to my guy.
Like about the trajectory of his son. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, hey, listen, man, like, okay,
who am I to tell you any different, bro?
I'm not going to argue with you.
Yeah, I'm not the one. Because I just saw this kid drop 20 on LeBron James and them in his ninth NBA
bust him
game
in the face
with a 3-ball.
In his ninth NBA.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Who am I to say he can't beat it? You know what I mean?
I saw him systematically break down an all-star NBA point guard in Tyrese Maxey.
Super frustrated.
In his 7th game of his NBA career.
Who am I to say? And he said,
who am I to say?
And it's crazy because on the air he said, "Oh, he'll be Rookie of the Year. Like that's my goal for him is to be Rookie of the Year." And so, who am I? Who he said that? So imagine what he said off the air. You know what I mean? So like, all right, right, brother. I ain't gonna tell you no different for sure. But man, the thing about Jaylen, shout out to my boy Christian Ingram, co-host of the No Bluffing podcast. You can catch every Monday. He put a tweet out yesterday that got a lot of traction and a lot of people kind of kick back. And I'm not the guy to say any different than what Chris is saying. The way Jaylen Wells is playing, when you get Vince back, when you get GG back, right, and Marcus Smart back, Dez back, I've been saying this forever, but this is before we had Jaylen Wells on the team, right, before we had him here. It's going to be hard to find real minutes for Luke Kennard in a minute. It's because Jaylen, something about Luke Kennard, he's one of the best shooters in the NBA history. I can't tell you he's not that. But he'll never be the defender Jaylen Wells is right now today.
Right now.
He ain't going to turn 6'8" no time soon either, man. It's just he's on a 1-year deal, man.
Can I tell you the word that's been floating around in my brain the last couple of days as I've watched Jaylen Wells' emergence and doing what he's doing?
It's
consolidation, man.
Yeah, consolidation.
Consolidation. I'm telling you, there are 2 spots on this roster, 2 of the biggest contracts that the Grizzlies have in terms of their role players that I firmly believe within 30 games of Jaylen Wells' rookie campaign,
He'll be gone.
They'll be gone.
One of them,
expendable.
One of them, Fred Wells said, we're going to get him out of here.
I've been watching him. He said it. He said it, Anthony.
We're going to get him out of here first. We're going to watch him right quick, break him down. Get him up out of here.
I thought I was expecting some kind of like,
he's just such a great leader.
We've been watching him for years. We love the way he plays defense.
We watched him to get his ass out of here.
We coming for his head.
We've identified him as a weak link.
The robot, we've targeted him.
Locked. It's the most vulnerable.
Engaged.
According to our calculations.
I mean, but even right now, like you see Luke Kennard come back and it's like, hey, we celebrated the fact his contract. And I don't want to hear anybody try to sell me on what Luke Kennard can do for this team when we've got mother effing Jaylen Wells coming in doing that and more. And more.
We saw Luke Kennard shoulder swinging from the shoulder blade against LeBron and them last year. A couple years ago. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Mr. Wells, hey, I need that brother confidence for sure. But like I said, it's a real conversation though, man, because like I think it's gonna be hard to sit that kid down, man. It's gonna be hard to sit him down for sure. And he's a guy that's getting he's one of the top rookies in this season. In the first 9-10 games of the season, he's one of the top rookies. 3.
And Zach is number 1. We got
it's crazy, bro.
I will say this. I did see on Twitter somebody said that the conversation needs to start about the starting shooting guard position.
Hey,
for the
I'm gonna say this. Shout out to my boy EJ with the Grizzlies Spaces. This is a conversation I've had on the air. I had this on air before somewhere. I've said this somewhere. If Ja Morant and Desmond Bane being a backcourt where neither one of them are like the guy you would put on the best guy on the other team, right? When your backcourt is like that, it makes it where your small forward has to be that dude if you're going to care about defense on the perimeter at all, right? It makes it where like whoever's at that 3 position has to be that dude. I've said this before. In a perfect world, the Memphis Grizzlies starting lineup to me in a perfect world is Ja Morant, Vince Williams at the 2, G.G. Jackson at the 3 to be your scoring wing, your scoring small forward. Vince, the guard, the best dude on the other team. Kind of like how Denver used Michael Porter Jr. and the kid that's with Orlando now. Come on, man.
Kentavious
Caldwell-Pope. And then you do Jaren and you do Edey. I've said that either on the air or in small groups that's ideally what your starting lineup would be. Then you have Desmond Bane, that's this mega 6-man who just comes in and does everything. Who could pretty much eliminate the need for a backup point guard because you just put him in the game and let him just go do his thing. And in a perfect situation, that makes a lot of sense to me. I can see it working, I can see it not working. But I'm not going to say it's a stupid idea. My boy EJ was the first somebody to say it on Twitter. I wasn't going to say that shit on Twitter. But he was the first somebody to say it on Twitter. Now that he said it, I might as well come out and say it too. But let EJ get the bump first. But
let him.
But that is not a bad idea to me. In a perfect situation, If you got Ja, Vince out there, Vince who can knock down open shots as well. Gigi is your big scoring wing. Jaren and Edie, and Baines coming off the bench as your super six man. That's a better lineup than Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, even Vince at the 3. I think that lineup I said is better than that. Like in a perfect world, when you can bring Desmond Bane off the bench and just murder dudes.
So let me ask you this: rank them in
let me
of
pause right before you say that. We're watching the Grizzlies team where Desmond Bane is not in the starting lineup, and they look good as hell. So,
right.
So, are you telling me if I say, "Hey, Desmond Bane, come in off the bench," you tell me that team's gonna be bad?
No.
I'm not saying you. I'm just saying anybody who thinks that that EJ was saying is a dumb idea.
What do you think? If you had your ultimate dream wish, all right, in terms of your rotation, in terms of starting shooting guards, you got Desmond Bane, Vince Williams, Jaylen Wells. Like ultimately, like what do you think would lead to a championship contending team? Is Desmond Bane the kind of a shooting guard that you could lead could help lead you to a championship team?
Man, I love Dez. His lack of availability bothers me a lot because Dez is like always getting hurt. He plays basketball like a football player, and it kind of
he does.
It gives him some weird injuries sometimes. I love Dez's game. He's just a natural, flat-foot, natural scorer. And I'm not trying to say like he's not a great player. I'm not trying to say like he shouldn't be our starting shooting guard. But I would definitely entertain other stuff to kind of make him the super six man. Because at the time when Manu Ginobili was coming off the bench for San Antonio, he was the second best player on the team. It was Tim Duncan and him.
There's nobody that would say he wasn't a extremely talented, valuable player. Yeah. He was just coming off the bench.
Yeah, because it made more sense to what.
Who was their starting?
They had a
guard?
defender. It was Bruce Bowen. They had
Bruce Bowen.
It was Bruce Bowen at the 2, if I'm not mistaken, on those teams.
Or was he the 3?
I can't remember. It was it Vinny Del Negro? No.
No, he's older. It
was Derek Anderson. Derek Anderson was starting 2, right?
I don't know.
I can't remember, bro.
Anyway.
I wouldn't be mad at that shit, bro. I would not be mad if the Grizzlies try something like that. They won't. It ain't happening, but I ain't gonna say that shit wouldn't work. I would not gonna say it wouldn't work, bro, for real. Because I really want to see what we look like if Jaylen stays on this trajectory and we got Vince and Gigi. I really want to see what that looks like for sure. I cannot wait to get this full team back because I think we'll look good as shit, man. But we look really good now. I think we're one of the best teams in the NBA right now today. And when we get our dudes back, I think it's going to be more obvious that we're one of the best teams in the league. But man, it's been
I don't know if you saw this, but the Grizzlies announced today that they're sending Vince to the hustle for practice, and they're going to call him right back up. He's coming back. He'll be back
next week.
Yeah.
He'll be back. Yeah. He'll be back next week. Hey, it's going down, bro. Scary hours for the league, man. For all y'all ass. But man, shout out to our awesome guest, Mr. Fred Wells. Man, Fred Wells gonna be feeling like I'm just talking crazy and then, hey man, you know who I am, bro.
But you got to do it in a robot voice. You got to, because he's a robot, man. I agree. Yeah. I think there might be a level of like AI simulations.
Right. Like, I know you're real, bro. That man said, what did we say? We said it was something he said that was crazy. I said, God, dog.
Oh, it's about the defense. He's like, just get to the NBA.
Oh yeah, fine. Yeah, just get to like, don't worry about it, son. Just get to the NBA. You'll show him. Just like, oh,
just go when you just wait till you get to the league where the best players in the entire world play. You'll be fine.
I should have asked him like, how did you feel when day one went by and Jaylen won the first round pick? Did you? But see, the AI probably told him the best route for success is to go to Memphis.
Yes,
Memphis has no more first round picks left.
Wow.
Please wait until day 2 when the Grizzlies can take you at 36, whatever pick they got.
Now, can we go ahead and announce that we need to apologize to Zach Kleiman for the disparaging their level of ability to pick the second round draft picks is it's amazing.
I don't subscribe to that narrative. I think they're good at making draft picks all together. If you look at this team, I want to say everybody on this roster, bro, was a guy that they identified and they acquired either on draft night or early in draft night or some summer league guy that they signed to a two-way. Everybody on this roster fits that description except for Marcus Smart and Luke Kennard. Everybody else is some guy that they went and got on their own. And if you want to throw Jay Huff in there and Scottie Pippen Jr., cool. But everybody else, they drafted these dudes. You know what I mean?
It's wild.
Everybody.
I have a feeling this is what I think is wild. I'm excited to see what Jaylen Wells does for this team moving forward this year. But I have a feeling if he continues to do what he's doing, and there is nothing abnormal about what he's doing outside of the fact, like in terms of like everything he's doing is repeatable.
He's doing the same type of shit that Desmond Bain was doing as a rookie, but Des wasn't as good of a defender.
Right. Jaylen Wells' emergence this quickly is going to drastically and radically change the way this roster looks in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be a mass, like he is going to free up this front office to do some things that they probably didn't think that they were going to be able to do until. But I think starting next year it's going to look different.
Kenny, goddamn it, we went and drafted Klay Thompson. I can't believe we did it. We went and drafted Klay Thompson in the second round.
I just hope he doesn't.
Hey, we got 4 rings. You could be the weirdest freak in the world if you want. Trust me. Well, Kenny, it's been a good one, man. Again, shout out to my guy Fred Wells for joining us, father of Jaylen Wells. This has just been the Jaylen Wells show, man. He's probably going to be on the thumbnail for sure. And Tommy Jacks told me to tell you that your thumbnail game has been impeccable throughout all the shows on Bluff City Media. But check everybody out. Go on our website to get the total rundown of all the shows on Bluff City Media. Visit our YouTube page. Subscribe, man. Comment on this video, man. Tell us what you thought about the show. Tell us what you think about Jaylen Wells. All those type of things. Give us more questions to ask his father because he will be back on here again.
He will be back on.
Well, for Kenny Stubblefield, this is Anthony Sain. We will see you guys next week, man, and we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.